Hi, South Park Church. It's Renee again, coming to you live for the second day in a row. We are here, joined with us here, Jesse Halleck, our interim care director. And it's really exciting to be able to use this type of program to let you get to know some of our staff a little bit closer, a little bit more. So when you are watching this, make sure to say hi to us, send a little comment. We will answer any questions that you might have. But right now, I'm just going to ask Jesse to introduce himself. Let us know, what is your role at South Park?
Well, first of all, it's kind of fun to be doing this live. I'm just sad that I can't see all of you. Um, but my role at South Park Church here is the interim director of care and senior ministries. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's kind of two areas. The senior ministries is both third quarter and discovery. So third quarter being targeted towards about 50 to 75-year-olds, and then discovery is about 70 plus. And then on the care side is doing a lot of coordination. So I'm not caring for every single person personally, but I'm making sure that care needs get met and finding the right people and finding the right resources to make sure that happens.
That is something that you're really, really good at. Just want to say hi to Vicki, your beautiful wife that's watching, and Alberta. Hi, Alberta. Good to have you with us. But that is something you're really good at, Jesse, is you're very organized, but you're very personable. So when you can combine those two things, it makes you a really good match for the role. So it has been a joy to watch you succeed in this role.
Thank you. That's kind of a part of that, I think, is my two worlds coming together. So I grew up in South America, and that's a lot of the people culture. And my dad is very, very American and very type A and very much the American side. And so I think in that area, I got both of those, at least a little bit.
Yeah, when you put those together, you're your unique self, and we're lucky to have you. So I'm interested to know, like, what brought you to South Park to worship with us? Like, how long have you been part of the congregation?
I've been a part of the congregation now, maybe 2 years. Vicki might have to put in the comments to correct me there. But so I started coming South Park first. The very first time I visited was when I was at Moody. That might have been like, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I'm not great with numbers in that way. But Vicki, my wife, was actually attending South Park when we were both at Moody. So I came to visit her church once. And that was actually when in the middle of the reconstruction project, the remodeling. So that was cool. And then I had my own church. And once Vicki and I were engaged, I actually stole her away from South Park. Oops. We went to a church that was a lot closer to us. And then we were at a church plant for a while, and we that wasn't going super well. And so after a really tough season, we decided to look for a place that would be healthier for Vicki and I. And we decided to start with somewhere where we knew here at South Park. And after visiting a few more times, visiting more so for me, Vicki coming back a few more times, it was really clear that this is the place that we're supposed to be. This is where we can relax, recover a little bit, heal a little bit, and then jump back in full swing.
Well, and it's great to have you guys. I knew Vicki during that time when she was at Moody and serving in the children's ministry. And so it was kind of like a reunion when she came back. It was so fun. Yeah. And because we knew her so well, it was so easy to get to know you. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think that a lot of people at South Park met Vicki and knew Vicki before I did.
Yeah.
So that's a cool connection here.
Yeah. So this is a weird time in our world. And what's it like to be the care director in this unique time? Like, there's no playbook for this one.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't expecting this. Nobody was. But it has been, on the one hand, really challenging. But on the other hand, it's been really exciting because I get to see things that most people don't get to see.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like I said before, I coordinate care. I don't do everything myself. And so what I get to see is I get to see people stepping up and being humble enough to say, you know what, here's a need that I have, in a way that they wouldn't do that publicly. and I get to have those hard conversations and be a part of people's lives in that way. But then on the other side, I get to hear so many people step up and say, I want to help. I can do this. I don't need to be reimbursed for this. I can figure this out. Like, I want to help. And that has been so cool to be able to see the back end of that and to see all the different people who are involved and all the different ways in which God is putting it on people's hearts to take a step of faith, whether that's a step of faith in asking for help or taking a step of faith in being the one to give help, even when it may not be convenient or sometimes even it may not be safe, but taking calculated steps of faith has been a really cool place to be. And I think I get a unique perspective on that right now.
And I think being on church staff, we hear a lot of times, prayer requests and needs, and sometimes it can feel really heavy. But then when you see the people step up so sacrificially to serve, and it's just such a blessing. So it is cool to see that behind the scenes and to be able to share that with people so that they know that there are people in our congregation that have gone so out of their way to help others. And it's just really cool.
Yeah, well, and even on the prayer side, so I coordinate sometimes the prayer chain and taking in requests and sharing those with the right people. But even it was either yesterday or today, had somebody write back to me and said, you know what, since the day the prayer team started praying for the person I requested prayer for, since that very day, their health has improved steadily.
Wow.
And so to not only be able to see how many people are willing to pray, but then to be right in the middle of it when God is answering prayers. That's a cool place to be.
Yeah, that is cool. Thanks for sharing that kind of stuff. In fact, I was going to ask, is there a specific story of maybe a tangible need that has been met during this time?
Yeah. So, well, there are multiple stories, but one that was particularly, I guess, moving, started because somebody that I had never met reached out to me and said, I have been praying and this name keeps coming up and they are on my heart right now. I think they might need something. Would you be willing to reach out to them? I don't know who they are and I don't have their contact information. God just seems to have put their name in my mind. Mm-hmm. So I found this person, and that very day, their grocery delivery got canceled, and they were not able to leave the house, and so they were actually out of food that very day. And that's one of those things where we were able to coordinate something really quickly to get somebody to go pick up groceries and deliver them to their home. But that entire story of God moving in someone's heart through prayer to reach out to someone they didn't really even know, that every step of the way we see God moving in bringing people to mind and making sure needs are met. And that's one that stands out really strongly, I guess, for me.
Those are some of my favorite stories because there's no possible way that we could have orchestrated any of that kind of thing. And so it's so very clear that it's God. And it just gives you that extra hope when you're kind of wondering, if it's too much for you to bear or for anyone individually to bear, you realize you don't have to. God's got it, and it's really, really cool. It's fun to see Taryn, Holly, and Alyssa come and Elisa. But she said, Elisa says, "Wow, what a cool answer to prayer." And that is so cool. Elisa is somebody that, as long as I've known her, she is one of those people that acts on the prompting of God. And so it's fun for her to hear stories like that and know that she's got other brothers and sisters in Christ doing the same thing. And Holly, it's neat to have Holly watch us again. She was here yesterday giving us encouragement about the worship, and her family, and they're so active, and her daughter builds into my daughter. It's just so neat to see. But her daughter and her best friend here were accepted into Moody. So that's
congratulations.
Really cool. Yeah, congratulations. That's really exciting. I can't wait to hear what that's going to look like for them next year. And Elisa here is correcting me. She's been a good friend of mine for a long time. So I'm live. I'm not used to this yet. Gosh, second one, Elisa. Give me a break. So if people need something, we want to know about it, right? Like,
Yes.
we definitely want to know about it. So can you tell them the best way? I'm going to put it up here on the screen, but are these the best ways for them to let us know of a need?
Yes, absolutely. And the email, if you have access to email, that's probably going to be the quickest, because right now our church, you can leave a voicemail, and I do check those regularly. But when I'm working, email comes to me really quickly, and I can coordinate with the right people. Right now we have, I think it's between 40 and 50 people from our church that have raised their hands and said, I want to be on the contact list. Let me know. Here's what I can do. Here's how I can help. And whenever we receive a care need, whenever somebody emails me or leaves a voicemail, and I send this out to the group, I literally have to write the email and stay there, because I get email responses within a matter of a couple minutes. And then I have to like stop and be like, all right, we have like 10 people to take care of this. I think we're good. But it's, so yes, you should let us know. I will do my best to find someone, a resource, or a person that may be able to help. And if you're not sure if we're able to help, just ask, and I will do my best to let you know. We may not be able to do everything. Well, we can't do everything. Let me correct that. We can't do everything. But if there is a need, we want to know. And if we can help, we want to be sure to do that.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. And I'm just looking here to see if I have any other questions that I have, because I prepared us for this interview. Yeah, so do we have any questions for Jesse while we have you guys here? We want, actually, this would be great because we have Jesse, our care director. I'm going to share Taryn's comment up here. Her son has asthma, and she's scared to bring him places, like, rightfully so. She's nervous as a mom. And so, yeah, let's continue to pray. Add Gabe to your list. Add, people that with asthma, and you will continue to pray for your family, Taryn. And when it's possible to leave him home for you to do something, please do that. If you need help with people dropping off groceries or something to you, so you don't need to bring them out, that's an example of something you can email Jesse. So we want to take care of you guys. And I haven't been to the store. I've been on walks, but I haven't been to a public place since March 14th. So I know that feeling. And we'll be praying for you guys, and let us know what you need. Elisa has a question here. It's an interim role right now. We love you so much that she's wondering if we could keep you full time. Tell us what else you do.
Thanks for asking. That does mean a lot. I don't think God is calling me to be here full time. I do also have a business that Vicki and I run, and that has allowed me the flexibility to do this part-time. I love serving our church, and it has been an honor to serve our church. I signed up to be interim, so I think we're going to stay interim. And I think God has called us to continue serving him, not just within our church and volunteer roles, but also to serve him through our work and in the marketplace. And yeah, that's about as far as I know right now.
And that's the thing, you never know what God has planned ahead of time. And you probably wouldn't have imagined doing what you're doing now a while back. But you're doing it so well because of how you're gifted, because you're a leadership coach, because you run that other business. You are just so efficient and so tuned in. And so that's why we can get away with a part-time interim care director without missing a beat. So thank you. And Jesse, you're amazing. We agree. And we do love your heart. In fact, that reminds me of, couple weeks ago, I guess, 3 weeks ago, right when this time of quarantine started, you sent out a prayer to the entire congregation. And it was so moving and wise. And it just showed your heart for the Lord, your heart for the congregation, and something that you've been told for so many years, that you're wise beyond your years. And would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about how you prayed for wisdom?
Yes, I must give credit where credit is due. And that took me a while to realize. But when I think it might have even been junior high or the beginning of high school. It must have been junior high, I think. I read the story of Solomon and I read how he asked for wisdom and God seemed to be really happy about that. And I clearly remember thinking, I don't exactly understand what wisdom is and what all that means, but I see that it's important to God, so I should probably pray for that. So I started pretty consistently praying for wisdom over and over and over again through the rest of junior high, through high school. And I remember multiple times feeling disappointed and being like, you know what? I prayed for this. I am praying for this. It's taken years and I still don't think God has answered this. Like I must be doing something wrong. And it wasn't until I moved to the States and I was in college and I looked back over my last couple of years of college and realized multiple people had been telling me, Jesse, you're wise beyond your years. They said that over and over again. And it took me a couple of years of people saying that for me to realize, oh my word, God answered that prayer. I've been praying that for years and here is some of the fruit of that. And so it has been cool now to see how God has used that. Credit where credit is due. He answered prayer and he tells us that if we lack anything, we should ask. And so here I am.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that wisdom with us in that prayer and so many other ways. And it's so fun to write those prayers down, journal about those prayers, because sometimes, like you said, you don't notice it for years down the line, even maybe after it's been answered for years down the line. But then all of a sudden it hits you and you can go back to your journal of answered prayers and give God the glory. So great. I wanted Holly to know that we see her comment about her friend, and we're going to contact you through email, Holly, right after this is done, and we'll figure out in what ways can we help partner with you or give you other resources and how to partner with them. So just wanted you to know that we do see that.
Yeah, and I can actually give a quick comment on that.
That'd be great.
So yes, Holly, we can send you an email with more information, but also I wanted to let everyone who's listening know there's a care network, kind of like we have at South Park. There's a care network for all of Park Ridge and the surrounding community that, similar to us, has a list of volunteers who've said we want to help. Similar to us, has a system where you can call in or email and share a need. So we can send more information about that to anybody who's interested. But there are really cool ways how communities are coming together to do this as well.
Yeah, and I know that's for beyond just Park Ridge.
Correct. Yep, it's Park Ridge and surrounding.
Yeah, and I live in Des Plaines, but I follow the Park Ridge mayor on Facebook, and he's really done an incredible job at leading the community through this time. And so, like Jesse said, we will send you that email information, but you can also go to the Facebook page for the mayor of Park Ridge. Can you help me, Martin Moy? I'm sorry.
I'm in Chicago.
Yeah, I know.
I know Lightfoot.
And I have a Marty across the street from me who's a state representative. And so they all both are M's. So I always mess up the last names. Anyway, so we will make sure to put that in the comments here so you can go follow him. Marty Maloney. Thank you, Kristen. You know who I was going to say, Kristen, because we're neighbors too. Marty Maloney will be a great place for you to follow stuff on Facebook because I've been just really impressed with his leadership, and it's so cool that he's wanting the community to help surrounding communities too. It's not about borders; it's about helping each other. So it's been really fun to have so many of you guys join us. If this is something that you think somebody would enjoy listening to or learning more about Jesse, you can share it. You can send them to our Facebook page. We're going to do more of these. We're going to talk to Hillary sometime this week about the Easter egg hunt that's coming up. I've asked a few other people, Pastor Eric. I'm going to ask some of our other staff, even some of us behind the scenes, so that you can get to know us know what we do, even though you don't always see us. So, and then just a little reminder about tonight. Bernie's going to do worship and prayer from our porch again at 7:30 tonight live on Facebook. Many of you have enjoyed that and joined us for that. So that's happening again tonight. So we hope you can be there. So Jesse, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to see you again in the office when that happens another day. But for now, I'll take you on the screen.
Well, thank you. This has been fun. I hope you all found value in this as well.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks. We'll see you all later.